Welcome back, TCG Squad. There's no budget deck for this week because this weekend I'm heading to the Star Wars Unlimited Planetary Qualifier with my aggression, Cad Bane deck, and I couldn't be more excited to share it with you. This mid-range deck thrives on controlling the board by leveraging Tarkin Town's epic action, early game pressure, Cad Bane's leader ability to dismantle your opponent's strategies because he can ping and kill stuff. Whether you're a casual competitive player, I'm going to guide you through everything you need to know to understand and play this deck effectively. Plus, I'm hyped to use Cad Bane. He's one of my favorite Star Wars characters. Let's get into the full breakdown, including synergies, matchup strategies, and tips and tricks for making the deck shine in any game. This is a mid-range deck built around controlling the board with precision damage and efficient units. The goal is to use Cad Bane's ability and Tarkin Town to wear down your opponents while setting up powerful mid and late game plays. Let's go ahead and just give a quick recap of Cad Bane for those who may be new to the game. Cad Bane's leader ability says, you may exhaust this leader. If you do, an opponent choose a unit they control, deal 1 damage to it. That's only when you play an underworld unit, remember that. On his leader unit side, it says raid 2, he gets +2 attack, and when you play an underworld card, deal 2 damage to an opponent's unit. Again, same thing as the leader side, but a little bit stronger. Let's talk about some of the strengths of the decks. It's actually really good against aggro decks like Sabine ECL. It has very good consistent board control because of Cad Bane's ping ability and Tarkin Town giving us the ability to take a unit out. There are also very efficient combos with this deck. Same time, there are some weaknesses. It struggles against heavy healing blue decks. You typically have to do 40+ damage to win. It also really struggles with air, so decks like Jangle Tarkin Town can be tricky. I want to talk about some key synergies and combos. Obviously, Cad Bane's leader ability plus Tarkin Town, it's awesome. You're going to use Cad Bane's ability to ping and soften up the units, and then use Tarkin Town's epic action to clear them out. This is going to help you keep that and maintain that board controlled. I also really like Crafty Smugglers and McClunky. Crafty Smugglers allows you to attack safely because they have a shield, and then McClunky lets you bounce them back to the hand, dealing 3 damage to that opponent's unit. Now there are 2 of them, plus Zuckuss or Bosk. This event lets you deploy a powerful 5 resource unit for only 3 resources. Zuckuss is great because he's a 6/6 with Saboteur, while Bosk shines when you have events in hand for those extra triggers. I really like Jabba plus his trick events. Jabba lets you search the top 10 cards of your deck for a trick event and let you draw it, and it reduces their cost by 1 resource. Combos like Shoot First and McClunky become free to play. That helps you push out that damage. I really like McClunky plus Bosk Trigger, because you can actually bounce near-death units of yours back to your hand to deal 3 damage to opponent's unit, and then you can do another 2 damage from Bosk Trigger. So you could take out a unit or take out 2 units potentially. It's really awesome. Plus, now that you play that unit again that was about to die, it's going to come back at full health. What does an ideal opening hand look like? I like starting off with a Crafty Smugglers. Now there are 2 of them, and Zuckuss. So I can pull off the combo, of course, right? It's awesome. Greedo or any other 2 resource unit is also okay. There are a lot of common mistakes when playing this deck. Let's go through some of them. Forgetting to use Cad Bane's leader ability when using ambush units. You can determine the sequence. You can ambush with a unit, then trigger the Cad Bane's ability, or you can Cad Bane ability first, then ambush with your unit, because that's going to give you information on what you should do or how to eliminate an opponent's threat. Sometimes people force, now there are 2 of them. Sometimes you just don't need to do that. And the biggest mistake is not using Jabba. Jabba is really awesome in this deck. Now let's give you some tips and general advice against different types of matchups. Against Sabine or aggro decks, this deck really shines because it's really strong against Sabine. Cad Bane's ping damage helps clear the board. Forlom is great at taking out Sabine during her deploy turn. There are some weaknesses. Not having a round 1 play really hurts. Since aggro decks load up on small units and push damage quickly, this can be disaster for us. Key cards to watch out for: Poe and Wrecker ECL. This combo is crazy, so be ready to kill them. Here's a general game plan. It's all about controlling their units each round until the mid game where you can finish them. So let's look at an example. Round 1, any 2-cost unit. Bazine is good to look at their hand, maybe discard a Dark Saber. Then you can Cad Bane ping them and Tarkin Town their first unit. Round 2, Cloud Riders plus Cad Bane's ping ability to take out their unit, or Crafty Smugglers, a McClunky combo mentioned earlier. Round 3, Forlom to take out Sabine. Round 4, Zuckuss gains ambush because of Forlom and can take out almost anything in the game at that level. Round 5, use Bosk plus events or Jabba events or Ruthless Raiders. Deployed Cad Bane, do some damage. Round 6 and above, you're going to be in the lead. Just finish the game out. Let's talk about control decks now. We have some strengths against control decks. We can go wide early to help push damage. We can disrupt their hand slightly with Bazine. And we can bypass Sentinel because we do have Saboteur. Now, there are some weaknesses. We can struggle at the end game without our big units, which I'll talk about in a moment. Cad Bane's leader ability doesn't really help us much here. Now, there are some key cards we want to watch out for. Overwhelming Barrage. That can take out almost our entire board. So we want to use Bazine during resource turn 4 or 5 to discard it. Snoke completely wrecks our early game units, so you need to be playing units like Boba, Forlom, or Zuckuss as they are beefier so they won't die, and then use Waylay to send him packing. Super Laser Blast really hurts our ground heavy board. You want to use Bazine to discard this card when you're at 7 or 8 resources. This is very important. And lastly, Avenger. Avenger takes out a unit and is difficult to kill with our limited space units in the deck. You can use Bazine to discard it. Another option is if you have initiative, play Crate Dragon. You get to do damage. Change of Heart is also great to use following the route your opponent plays it, because you can attack with it and then you'll defeat one of their units as well. Let's talk about the sideboard strategy for this deck. We're going to be removing 2 mercenary gunships. We're going to remove 2 Cloud Riders. We're going to add 2 Crate Dragons. Add 1 Change of Heart. Add 1 Bazine. The general game plan against this archetype, you want to go wide with your units for your first 3 rounds, then play your beefier units. Resource Hotshot DL44 Blouster so that you can smuggle it and close out the game. Jabba and his tricks reduction will be important to control your opponent's board. So bring out Jabba as early as you can. And remember, he's beefy. Use Cad Bane unit to capture 3 of your opponent's units. Wait to attack with Cad Bane until you can present lethal base damage. And remember, Crate Dragon can win you the games. Some play adjustments. You gotta focus on going full aggro. You need to pump out as much as damage as you can. And you want to go wide. Use Change of Heart and Crate Dragon to put pressure on your opponent and close the game out. Now let's talk about Vigilance decks. Now this deck has some strengths against those Vigilant decks. We can push a lot of damage early. We have a good amount of events to help control their board and their units. But we do have a big weakness against this deck. You really need to do almost 40 plus damage to win because of the amount of healing that these decks present. And unfortunately, our leader ability doesn't help much here either. Now there are some key cards we gotta watch out for. Bosk and his bounties. He can get a lot of value from those bounties. So you want to use McClunky or waylay your units back to your hand to drop that bounty off them so he can't benefit from it. Dr. Pershing card draw is insane. Kill it ASAP. You can use unit attack plus Tarkin Town to finish it. The client helps the deck heal. You gotta kill it fast with an ambush unit. Against Rey or Yoda, use Bazine to discard the Lukes from your opponent's hand. Luke is powerful. Recommended sideboard strategy against this archetype, you want to remove the 2 mercenary gunships, remove 1 cloud rider, add 2 crate dragons, add 1 change of heart. The general game plan against this archetype, same tips that we gave on control decks do apply here, but I want to focus on one thing. Java is going to be extremely important to get on the board to help reduce your tricks costs and help control your opponent's units. And remember, kill restore units as fast as possible. Play adjustments, you're going to focus on that early damage. Take out the units with restore ability. See how I've said that multiple times? Now, let's talk about what we do against mid-range decks. So, from strength, Cad and Tarkin Town is awesome. Forlom and Zuckus duo is great to get past Sentinels and do some base damage. We can typically win a damage race. We do really struggle against any heavy space decks. There are some key cards we want to watch out for. Overwhelming Barrage can really hurt us, so you really want to use Bazine to discard that card. Kira's deploy turn can make her scary fast, especially if you use the ping. You don't want to do that. Use Forlom or Boss to take her out. Ambush first and then trigger Cat ability because she will be dead. Cunning is a powerful card and can stop a whole round of damage. Use Bazine when you have 4 resources to get it discarded from your opponent's hand. That card is crippling. Here are some recommended sideboard strategies. I would probably remove 1 Cloud Rider and remove 1 Mercenary Gunship. We're going to add 2 Sneak Attack. General game plan. We want to get Job on the board pretty quickly just to help reduce trick costs. And then we really want to leverage Waylay to get rid of any threatening units. No Good to Me Dead, threatening units or leaders when they're deployed. Cad Bane unit and Crate Dragon to close out the game. I do want to point out Sneak Attack plus Ruthless Raiders can help you close out the game. It's such a great combo. Also, at the same time, Sneak Attack and Cad Bane is also a great combo. You can capture any Sentinels, swing in, and finish out the game. And that's it. That's my Cad Bane Tarkin Town deck. This deck has all the tools to thrive in a competitive environment. Powerful combos, strong board control, efficient ways to deal with aggressive and control strategies. I'm excited to take this deck to the Planetary Qualifiers and see how it performs. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe for more Star Wars Unlimited content, and may the Force be with you.